Story 1. I moved into a small apartment in Ohio because it was cheap and quiet. The landlord warned me the previous tenant left suddenly, but I didn't care. The first night, I heard knocking from inside the walls. I assumed it was pipes. Every night at exactly 2:11 a.m., the knocking returned, slower, deliberate. On the fifth night, I knocked back as a joke. The sound stopped instantly. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number saying, "Don't answer us." I froze. The knocking resumed, now right behind my bedroom wall. Then I heard breathing matching mine perfectly. I ran outside barefoot. The next morning, police asked why I had been knocking from inside my own apartment all night long. Story 2. The night shift at a gas station in rural Texas is painfully slow. At 3 a.m., a man walked in soaking wet despite the clear sky. He stared at the freezer doors without blinking. I asked if he needed help. He smiled and asked if the river was still behind the building. I said no river existed. His smile faded. He whispered, "Then I'm lost again." The lights flickered and the security monitor showed him standing behind me. I turned around, but the store was empty. Police later reviewed the footage. It showed me talking alone for 6 minutes, nodding politely while water pooled around my feet. Story 3. I babysat for a family in suburban New Jersey every Friday. Their rules were simple: lock all doors, no visitors, and never answer the upstairs phone. The kids slept early. At 9:30 p.m. the upstairs phone rang anyway. Then again. Then again. A voicemail notification appeared on my phone from the house number. It was my own voice whispering, "Don't pick it up." Suddenly, footsteps paced above me. I texted the parents, but the message failed. The upstairs phone rang once more, then stopped. The footsteps rushed toward the stairs. I grabbed the kids and ran. Police later said the upstairs didn't exist. The house had burned down years ago, rebuilt without a second floor. Story 4. My fitness tracker started recording steps while I slept. At first, it logged small movements, then miles. One night, it recorded 10,000 steps between 2 and 4 a.m. The map showed my bedroom perfectly traced back and forth. I locked my door and stayed awake. At 2 a.m., my watch vibrated, workout detected. The bedroom door handle slowly turned. I checked my watch again. The steps were still counting, but the heart rate wasn't mine. It was faster, closer. In the morning, my door was still locked. The tracker congratulated me for the most active night of my life. Story 5. The motel in Nevada advertised, "No noise, guaranteed." I checked in after a long drive. At midnight, someone knocked softly. I ignored it. The knocking continued every hour, polite and patient. I finally checked the peephole. No one was there. The front desk phone rang. The clerk said, "Sir, please stop knocking on other guests' doors." I told him I hadn't left my room. He went silent, then said, "But your key card logs show you standing outside your door for hours." I checked the hallway camera on the TV. It showed me facing my own door, smiling, knocking gently while I watched from inside. Story 6. I work overnight security at a Chicago office building. One rule is clear: never enter the conference room after midnight. At 12:30 a.m., motion sensors triggered inside it. I checked the camera. The room was full of people sitting silently. All faced the wall. Their reflections in the glass showed them staring directly at the camera. My radio crackled. A voice said, "Meeting starts when you arrive." The sensor alarm stopped. The camera feed froze on my own face standing among them. I quit that night. HR later told me no one works that shift. The building has been empty for years. Story 7. My smart doorbell kept sending alerts in Florida heat. Motion detected. Every clip showed the same thing. My front porch empty except for a shadow leaning close to the camera. One night the alert said, "Person recognized." It labeled the shadow as me. I was inside. The doorbell rang. I didn't answer. My phone buzzed with a live view. The shadow raised its hand and waved exactly like I did earlier that day. Then it knocked from the inside of the door. The alert updated, "Welcome home." I moved out before sunrise. Story 8. The hiking trail in Washington State was marked safe. I went alone anyway. After an hour, I noticed the same fallen tree again. And again. My GPS spun wildly. Then it showed multiple versions of me standing on the trail ahead. I heard footsteps matching mine, slightly delayed. I stopped. They stopped. I turned around. Someone whispered, "Keep walking or we'll replace you." I ran until I collapsed near the road. Rangers later told me no trail exists there anymore. Too many hikers came back claiming they weren't sure they were the original. Story 9. I rented a basement room in New York. Every night, my roommate asked if I had been whispering. I hadn't. I started recording my sleep. At 3:17 a.m., the audio picked up whispers saying my name. Then instructions. Breathe slower. Don't wake him. The next night, the recording captured footsteps circling my bed. I woke up holding my breath. The whisper sighed in relief. My phone screen lit up by itself, displaying, "Almost lost you." I moved out. The landlord said the room had always been vacant. Tenants never lasted long enough to unpack. Story 10. The call center in Arizona closed at midnight. At 11:59 p.m., my phone rang. The caller ID said, "Emergency line." I answered. A woman screamed, begging me to stop watching her. She described my desk perfectly. The call dropped. Security footage later showed me staring at my phone while every monitor behind me played live video of her apartment. The timestamp read 5 minutes in the future. The next day, the news reported her disappearance. My supervisor asked why I stayed late, since my shift ended early yesterday.